11 top players Arsenal narrowly missed out on as Vlahovic heads to Juventus. Former Arsenal boss Arsene Wenger claims he almost signed so many of the world's greatest players that it's become something of a running joke. For nearly 2 decades now, the Gunners have been playing second fiddle in the Premier League to their wealthier and ultimately more successful rivals. They've had to watch as Manchester United, Chelsea, Manchester City and even Liverpool rake in talent from far and wide to build title-winning super teams year after year. Landing Dusan Vlahovic would have been Arsenal's first major statement in the transfer market since signing Mesut Ozil from Real Madrid in 2013, but as has happened so often over the past 20 years, they failed to get the deal over the line. With the big Serb now on the verge of joining Juventus, Daily Star Sport has taken a look back at 11 other top players Arsenal came so close to signing in recent years. The Vultures quickly came circling after Leicester City's miraculous Premier League triumph in 2016. N'Golo Kante was snapped up. Chelsea, Manchester City were pushing for Riyad Mahrez and Jamie Vardy had an excruciating decision to make when the Gunners triggered his £20 million release clause. It looked like the deal was done when Arsenal striker Olivier Giroud acknowledged the approach publicly, saying how much he was looking forward to playing alongside the England international, but Vardy eventually opted to stay with the Foxes. Do you think Arsene Wenger ever lies about which players he nearly signed? Let us know in the comments section below. Wenger was eyeing up a long-term replacement for club captain Patrick Vieira in the summer of 2004 and identified West Ham youngster Michael Carrick as the ideal candidate. The two even met in person to discuss terms, but Wenger pulled the plug at the last minute when a 17-year-old Cesc Fabregas put in a stellar performance against Manchester United in the Community Shield a few days later. Fabregas' performance changed Wenger's mind about needing me. I was totally devastated, Carrick, who went on to join Tottenham that summer, revealed in his autobiography. As the story goes, Arsenal mistakenly believed their infamous £40 million plus £1 bid in the summer of 2013 had activated a release clause in Luis Suarez's Liverpool contract, but this wasn't the case. Reds owner John Henry was so insulted by the offer that he refused to come to the table, despite Suarez himself pushing for the move. The Uruguayan stayed on Merseyside for another year before sealing a £75 million move to Barcelona, where he went on to score nearly 200 goals in 6 seasons. Oh well. Arsenal made a big push to sign young Parma goalkeeper Gianluigi Buffon in 1998 as they went in search of David Seaman's long-term replacement. The 20-year-old, who was still 3 years away from sealing a record move to Juventus, met with Wenger for dinner in Sicily, but official approach was never lodged. Manchester United manager Sir Alex Ferguson, who was on the hunt for the heir to Peter Schmeichel's throne around the same time, also spoke with the Italian, but Buffon chose to stay put in Serie A. Arsenal incredibly spurned the chance to sign N'Golo Kante in the aftermath of Leicester's remarkable title triumph in 2016. The Frenchman had a release clause of just £32 million, but the Gunners were put off when estimated agents' fees began to creep north of the £10 million mark and backed out of the deal. Days later Chelsea snapped him up, and Arsenal signed Granit Xhaka instead. What marvelous business. I showed him around, and I gave him a shirt. It had his name on the back, Wenger said of Cristiano Ronaldo in 2008. But in the end it was a question of the transfer fee between the two clubs. Despite Arsenal's interest in Sporting Lisbon's 18-year-old sensation, they couldn't, or didn't want to, match Manchester United's £12 million bid in the summer of 2003. It's fair to say, the Gunners probably regret that. For years football fans have been fantasizing about seeing Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo in the same team, and it's funny to think Arsenal came closest to making it happen. The North Londoners pinched Fabregas from Barcelona in 2003, but they pushed for Messi and Gerard Piqué too as they launched a raid on the Spanish club's famous La Masia academy. Piqué ended up moving to Old Trafford a year later, while Messi stayed put, but only because Arsenal failed to find a flat for his family, according to Sky Sports journalist Guillem Balag. Another player who slipped through the cracks in 2003 was Yaya Toure, but this time Arsenal literally had him in their grasp. The Ivorian, whose elder brother Kolo had signed for the Gunners a year earlier, was handed a trial by the club and even appeared in a pre-season friendly for them against Barnet, though Wenger described his performance as completely average. Le Professeur was still open to signing Toure, but work permit issues muddied any potential agreement, and the 20-year-old signed for Ukrainian side Metalurg Donetsk instead. When Manchester City signed Shay Given in February 2009, Joe Hart's future with the club looked all but over. He was loaned out to Birmingham City a few months later and was expected to leave permanently the following summer, with Arsenal his most determined suitors. But his spell at St Andrews was so good that not only was he selected in the PFA Team of the Year, but he forced City boss Roberto Mancini to reconsider his first-team prospects. Hart started ahead of Given on the opening day of the season, put in a man-of-the-match performance, and established himself as first choice, much to Arsenal's dismay. When the Hyenas came for Monaco's 2017 Champions League semi-finalists, Arsenal were desperate to get in on the action. The likes of Kylian Mbappé, Bernardo Silva, Fabinho, Timo Bakayoko and Benjamin Mendy were quickly snapped up, but the Gunners spent all summer pursuing Thomas Lemar. A £30 million bid was rejected in July before the Gunners lodged an eye-watering £92 million offer for the winger in August, which would have absolutely shattered their club transfer record. The move was ultimately rejected by the player though,